Okay, thank you so much, Luca, because I don't know how to do it from my end. Thank you. Okay, so moving forward, I would like to introduce myself. Okay, everyone calls me Dr. Liz, and that's what I want to be called. You know, uh, uh, my first name. This is my very long for complete name, Elizabeth Soliday Nawi. Okay, I earned my PhD from the University of Nice in Sophia Antipolis in Nice in France. I graduated in 2013, actually 2013. So this I really like to put that. I graduated magna cum laude. Or in French, we call it très honorable. So I've been, as you can see, a lot of women, when they get married, they drop their middle name and they just adopt the name of the husband. But in my case, because I'm Asian, I am originally from the Philippines, we always drop our middle name and take the name of our husband. But I am not one of those women. I am called, as you can see, this is a hyphen. So I am called the hyphenated women, one of the hyphenated women. I don't drop my middle name because it's an honor to my father. So I belong to the hyphenated women. The reason why I am pointing that out is because if your research will be in gender studies, for example, this is very important because there's very few women who are using this, at least from the region where I am from. Also, one peculiar thing about me is that when I sign my name, the signature is always Elizabeth. I don't put the last name. Why? Because the only name that I will have from womb to tomb is Elizabeth, because that's the name that I do not inherit from the father, or I do not inherit from the husband. Okay, so currently I am serving as the dean of the Swiss School of Management, the entire Swiss School of Management. I am also the academic dean of the Swiss School of Management Barcelona. I am also the president, sorry about the formatting. I am also the president of IACBE Region 9. What is IACBE? If you look here, one of our accreditors is called IACBE, International Accreditation Council for Business Education. This is an accrediting body based in the US. So for IACBE, they divide the world into several regions, and the entire European region is called Region 9. So right now, I am serving as a president of IACBE Region 9. I've been an academician for 27 years. So, I was born during the age of the dinosaur. So I know exactly what I'm talking about when I am teaching research, because, imagine you are doing your bachelor's degree now, you are writing your thesis. And then I did that when I was in my bachelor's degree. And then I had my master's degree. So I have written my master's degree thesis. And then I continue with my doctorate program. So I wrote my dissertation. You have to be very careful about terminologies, ladies and gentlemen. When you are doing your research, academic research for bachelor's and master's, it is called thesis. Thesis. When you are doing your research for your doctorate studies, either DBA, Doctorate in Business Administration, or PhD, the thesis, the term changes from thesis to dissertation. So right now you are doing a thesis because you are doing your bachelor's degree. So that is about me. I met some of you already. Mirko and Davide were here in Barcelona for the International Student Week last year, March last year. Pia actually came to Barcelona to become one of our intern for a month. Okay, so this is what is good about the group of the Swiss School of Management. You can go whichever campus you want, and you are always invited in any of our international student activity. In line with that, I would like to tell you that in March 4 to 8 of 2024, there is going to be an International Student Week in Barcelona. Week meaning it's 1 week activity, March 4 to 8. And the topic is branding in the age of artificial intelligence. So you might be interested in that. So I'm telling you, it's March 4 to 8. The fee is 480 euro, but because you are a student of the Swiss School of Management, we usually have a little discount of 40 euro, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So instead of paying 480, you will be paying 440, and that includes hotel accommodation for two. So you will be sharing your room with someone else. And the hotel is basically, Mirko knows this, the hotel is very near the campus of the Swiss School of Management here in Barcelona. So just to give you an idea that there is going to be an International Student Week next year. Okay, so this is about me. Please do not call me Elizabeth. I really don't like that. Okay, call me Dr. Liz, because Elizabeth is, my mother calls me that when she's mad. So I don't want to be reminded. Okay, so as also part of the personal branding, Dr. Liz, I appreciate that. Okay, so I want to know who you are. The first session in my class is always diagnostics. Okay, I want to know who you are. What are your motivation? What are your plans in the future? What career do you envision for yourself? And of course, this is a research class. So even if it is not concrete yet, I want you to tell me what are you passionate about and what is the area of research you think you would like to pursue as your thesis topic. Okay, but it doesn't mean when you share it now, it doesn't mean that it will not change. Again, we are brainstorming here. It can change in a matter of 2 sessions. After 2 sessions, you want to change your topic, that's all right. It's just that at the end of this course, what I am expecting from you is a concrete research proposal, which means you cannot change your topic every session. I'm going to give you, in the schedule, I will tell you later, I think November 16 is a writing break. Okay, we don't have a class because it's a writing break. In the writing break, it means your research topic is already solid. You cannot change it anymore, or else you will end up changing your topic every 2 weeks, and you will never finish if you will do that. Okay, so I want to hear from everyone here in the class. I want, introduce, I know that you know each other very well, but I don't know you. So please tell your name, your current job or your position if you are working, what career do you envision for yourself, and what is the research topic that you would like to explore for your thesis. Okay, who would like to volunteer? Who would like to volunteer?
I could start off.
Okay, who is this?
Enrico.
Enrico, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see me because I'll just say this because the camera seems to have blocked itself. I don't know if you can see me move, but my name is Enrico Castiglioni. My current job, apart from being a student, is well, I'm currently working on my own startup, so I guess you could say an entrepreneur. I envision myself in a career where I can try to build something that can help people. So I guess entrepreneur kind of fits into that description. And the research topic that I can try and propose is the difficulties, the emotional or the difficulties of starting a startup in modern Europe or something like that. I guess that's somewhere along the lines of where I could think about building a thesis.
Yeah, you said you are an entrepreneur, you are a startup. What industry are you working on?
We're working on applications to fundamentally try and help create a more sustainable economy, which also helps give the opportunity to find work in a more in an easier fashion.
Okay, again, that's still very big. You said it's an app for sustainable economy. Sustainable economy is very big. What particular area?
Well, we will be trying to look into, it's still a startup, so it's kind of an experiment. We're not sure where we're going to end up. I know where I would like to see it, but it will morph with time. I'd like to see with more sustainable, connecting more sustainable companies with the consumer, being able to make it more accessible, and in turn to be able to being able to build a career in them, because it's a very difficult economy.
So which means you want to connect employees to possible employers, is that it?
Fundamentally, yes. Anybody who is willing and able to work it will have an easier time connecting to people who need that work. It's more of a gig economy.
Okay. Okay. So at this point, it's very obvious that you are in the startup phase. You are trying to figure out what you wanted to do. So let's see, as we go on with our lesson, I hope some things will be clearer for you so that, we'll know how to write about it. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Enrico. Next
Thank
one,
you.
who would like to volunteer? Okay. Sambaye, can you go next?
Of
Sambaye.
course, yes. So, I'll present myself. So, my name is Papi Sambaye Gueye. I'm from Senegal, Africa, and I don't have a current job or position for now, as I'm more focused on my last year of BBA, and um from the career I envision for myself, I would say something to do with business analytics or being an entrepreneur by itself. And my research, as for the research thesis, um, I don't have an idea, let's say, a um, a precise idea of what I want to do, but it would be something in relations with business analytics in
Business
general.
analytics. Okay, you are from
Yes,
Senegal.
yes,
Parle français alors?
bien sûr.
Bien sûr. Because the Senegalese, they speak French. I speak French because I told
Yeah.
you I studied in the south of France, so it's really very helpful. The only thing is that my first foreign language is French. Now I am living in Barcelona, so the mixture of French and Spanish and English, and then my native language, I speak four languages. So sometimes, when I try to speak Spanish, uh, there's a lag.
Mix it up.
And sometimes I will tell the person that I'm talking with is, wait a little, because it's loading. It's like the computer. I am searching for the word
Yeah,
in Spanish
I
because the first
understand.
thing that comes to mind is French. So, uh, parla italiano.
See,
You speak fluently?
not as well as I want to be, but I could do the minimum I could
Okay.
speak.
For your plan for after graduation, do you plan to stay in Italy or somewhere in Europe, or do you plan to go back
Oh
to
no,
Senegal?
I plan to go into Switzerland mainly as a
Switzerland.
first time. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if your interest is really in business analytics, aside from the lectures that you are getting from the Swiss School of Management, are there other things that you are doing on the side on your personal capacity to help you with the career choices that you have, like, attending courses online about business analytics? Are you doing that?
I would say that would be personal research from on my end.
Mm-hmm.
If I have, let's say, any unclear knowledge or any part where I have where I want to have more knowledge, I would go and do the research myself.
Okay. Because,
Other than that, I don't think so.
yeah, I mean, the reason why I am asking this is because if you really want to be a business analyst, you have to be out there studying, because the tools for business analytics is congruent. It develops the same time as the development of technology. And especially with the artificial intelligence, that every week, every 2 weeks, every month, things change. So if you really want to do and to be excellent at business analytics, you have to supplement the courses that you are taking from the Swiss School of Management for your bachelor's degree with other tools. You cannot rely only in one area where you learn. You owe it to yourself to look for other training, even if it's online, and they are giving it a lot for free, and then make sure that you accumulate all those certificates of Google lecturer or Google whatever. Add that to the diploma that you are going to get, because the area that you wanted to be a part of career wise, which is business analytics, is very competitive. So right now that you are in your last year of your bachelor's degree, add on to whatever degree you will get from the Swiss School of Management. Do you get what I mean?
I perfectly get what you mean.
Yeah, c'est pas, ça suffit pas. It's not enough.
Okay.
Sure? You have to supplement. Okay, but it's all right if the idea for research is not concrete at the moment. This is our first session, so it's normal. But at least as we go on, at least after today's session, you have to be thinking really what would be your research topic, so you can, there will come a time that it is concretized already. Okay, thank you so much, Sambaye. Let's go to Frieza. Andrea.
Hi, sorry, the camera. I don't know. Hi, I'm Andrea Frizza, and now I'm a student. And my dream is my dream is work in my family company. We produce textile and fabric for the dress. And for my thesis, I don't know, but my first choice is marketing.
Mhm.
Yes, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, in the area of marketing, it's okay because
In the area of marketing, yes.
yeah, in the area of marketing. So, are you located in Milan?
No, in Brescia.
You are in Brescia. Okay. How long has your family had this business, if I may ask?
60 years old.
60.
60 years old. Yeah. Okay. So 60 years old. Okay. So far so good.
So, sorry?
I mean, so far so good. The business is doing good.
Yes, it is good.
Yeah. Okay. The reason why I'm asking is because if you have a family business to run, and you are thinking of, you are feeling that you will be the one to continue the business, or you will be largely part of its operation, my advice to you is when you do your thesis, it has to be within that line. Okay, do not do something else. You have to look at the thesis that you can actually use, so that it's not only an academic requirement, you know what I mean, but you can also apply it in the business that your family already have. Does that make sense?
Yes, okay.
Okay. Lucas, can we go to you?
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Lucas Montagna. I am 22 years old. I'm as well in my third year, and I'm originally from Bolzano. So I grew up bilingual. Currently, I'm a student without, like, I'm not doing a part-time job or anything close to that. I envision myself in the future working in real estate. This is as well what I'm planning to do for my master, a master in real estate management. And my research topic would also be in that direction. I was since I'm coming from a territory which has 3 languages, so we have language minorities. I want to dive into the topic of preserving the right of being able to afford buying properties in the territory that you're that we all grew up in, without being bought out from foreigners and being in the future being how do you say, forced to move out. And
yeah, I understand what you mean, because that's the problem of globalization these days. And you are going to face some bureaucratic challenges in that, because Lucas, you have to look, I know that you are young and you are very idealistic, but you also have to look at the government policies or the laws that govern real estate. Because even if that is your idea, if the law says that if you are a foreigner and you are willing to invest in this area of, let's say, 500,000 euros worth of properties, if that is written in the law, you cannot do anything about it. You understand what I mean?
not exactly.
Yeah, because I will give you an idea. Here in Barcelona, for example, there is a thing called golden visa for foreigners.
Mhm.
Okay. The golden visa means if I am a foreigner and I have the money and I will buy a property in cash worth 500,000 euro, I
Mhm.
will be given the visa to stay in Barcelona.
Mhm.
It's the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
thing
yeah,
in France.
but the situation in my region is different because we're an autonomous region and we have special rights. So in terms of certain properties cannot be bought from foreigners, and I want to preserve that right and dive into that topic because yeah, there are special rights for us for the languages. So it's not same in other countries.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm saying is that, yeah, you have to really anchor your research on
Yeah.
government policy. So the way I am looking at it now, when you do your thesis, it is a qualitative research, and the main tool that you are going to use is descriptive analysis, document analysis. So document analysis, meaning you are not going to interview anyone, you are not going to do a survey. What you're going to do is to present current written policies. That's why it's called document analysis. Current policies, and you would like to highlight that. Why? Because probably you know about it because that's your area of interest. But probably majority of the tenants of your autonomous region is not very well aware of this. So the purpose of your thesis would be to develop awareness, to tell the one, not the first recipient of the information that you are going to gather, the result of your research, will be the residents of your autonomous region, and the second recipient of the information that you are going to get from your thesis is, it's like an information to the foreigners or to the migrants that even if you want to come to our autonomous region and you want to buy property, you cannot, because the rule or the law says this. So, you know, that will be a very interesting topic, but I'm just giving you, the trajectory, because probably it's not very clear to you now, but that's an interesting topic to explore. Okay, thank you so much, Lucas. Let's go to Luigi.
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Well, my name is Luigi Alizio. I'm a student, and in the meanwhile, I work in the family company. I start following up the assembly line and then the technical problem. And now I do a bit of the two. My vision, I envision myself in the world and in the family company, adding values and quality to this business, and that is already established from, I think in the total is 68 years old. And there is another part of the business in another country, in Brazil, that from 50 years. So my research could be on or intellectual management, intercultural management, excuse me, or macroeconomy.
Microeconomy. Okay. May
Yeah.
I know what is the area of your family business?
Yeah, we do circular knitting machine, so textile and mechanical machine.
Textile and mechanical machine. The mechanical machine, is it related to textile production?
Of course, yes. It's the fashion somehow moves what who make the fabrics want. So if fashion is like if move in a way the market who makes fabrics for fashion follow that product. So the machine follow up the product.
Okay. Okay. So between the intellectual management and microeconomy, I would advise you to consider the intellectual management, because the microeconomy, I don't know. I mean, it's looking at it now, I think the intellectual management is really something that, especially in the European Union, where, you know, it's not only about the intellectual property, but the GDPR thing, you know, they're trying to preserve what is European, and the European intellectual property. I think that would be an interesting area for you to explore. Is that something that you consider?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's now, Mirko, can you go next? Mirko?
Yeah.
Can you speak a little louder so that everyone can hear you and can understand you, please?
Buongiorno a tutti, mi chiamo Mirko. Cosa voglio fare?
Mirko, can you try to speak in English? I don't speak Italian.
Okay, my name is Mirko. I'm 21 years old. I don't know. I want to do in the future. I don't know.
What is the research topic that you would like to explore?
It's a good question.
Any particular area that you are interested in?
Law. I don't have a particular area what I want.
Mirko, very simple question. What are you passionate about? What is it that you like to do?
I like design, mobile design in general.
You like designing in general?
Yeah. For home, for house.
Designing for what?
For house.
Can you say that again?
So,
Mirko, is it possible for you to sit down? Okay.
Okay.
So you're passionate about designing. Designing for what? Because Mirko, listen to me. I'm trying to help each and every one of you, because let's work on things that you like to do. No one can force you. I will never force you to do the things that you don't like to do. My idea is that you tell me what you are interested in, and then we will refine it so that it will be easier for you to write the thesis. So it's all right if you don't have the concrete idea for now. It's expected. I don't know yet, probably in the area of entrepreneurship. That's all right. That's okay. We can work on it. So my question to you is that I ask you about your passion because you don't know what you wanted to do. I ask you about what you like to do. So you like designing. So let's go deeper. Designing for what? Designing for who? What kind of design do you like to do?
Design for example, the house, immobili.
Okay. So like interior design, that's what you like.
Okay.
Yes. See, so we're getting there. So your area of interest is interior design. Okay, so now that we have specifically pinpointed what you are interested in, then we have to translate it into an academic problematic, because at the end of the day, this is a class. This is an academic exercise. So how can we turn your passion, what you like, into an acceptable academic thesis? So what you like is interior design. So later on, as we move forward, let's not force it. As we move forward, at least you have that in mind, Mirko. I want my thesis to be to revolve around interior design. And then, as we move forward with the lesson, we will try to understand how are we going to translate that into a thesis title for an academic research. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now let's go to Sergio. Sergio, I know you. Late Sergio.
Hello, good morning, Lisa. How are you?
Yes. Can you open your camera, please?
No, this day not. Sorry, because I'm not seeing these lessons about my computer, but I use my phone because I stay outside my home. And
Okay.
my phone have a little bit difficult. Just so sorry
Okay.
for this lessons. So my
Yeah.
name is Sergio. Current the job and the position. So I have a different object. The position now properly I can define my position or the position in the future because I have a lot of different interesting in this period, and I need to define my decision where I want to go and what I define what I want to do.
Mhm.
But the argument it's the business and the manager in this case to create a new activities or manage a new startup the same new activities secret key. So what career do you envision for yourself? Good question. So I don't know, seriously. My object is to do. For the moment, I know that, but
You are exploring. That's all right. So what about the
yeah, for
research
the
topic?
moment, I need to explore for see again and again because for the moment I see not more. What is the research topic that you would like to explore for your thesis? Cioè sarebbe la mia le mie passioni, tipo, no? It's my passion, this, or some else, sorry.
It can be the thing that you're passionate about or a thing that you are knowledgeable about.
Depends. And sometimes with the passion, sometimes not. I don't know, seriously. More time in the passion, just for
Topic, Sergio, topic. What is the topic that you would like to explore? It doesn't have to be a grand thing.
my
What's
topic
the
is
topic?
have 2 or plus entry economic entry. My topic is this. For this, I want
Economic entry, Sergio, economic entry.
yeah. I need to I need to see a different entry economics. For that, for make that, I need to create a different chance. That's it.
Sergio, you are doing your bachelor's thesis. You are not doing a doctorate degree.
In Barcelona,
I have to stop you there. In this class, I call a spade a spade.
yes, of course.
Sergio, go down. You are in the clouds. Go down. It has to be, you are on your 3rd year, which means you only have 1 year to finish your academic thesis. So if you want to have economic entry, Sergio, this is a longitudinal study of 5 to 7 years. Can you do that?
Of course.
Hmm.
If no. I explain you for just 1 second. I know just do that. I won't do that. Just because I stay only me in my family and I need more elements for my life. That's it. It's my interesting, but not only my interesting, you know? It's just è tutto un insieme. Non so come dirlo tutto un insieme, ragazzi, in inglese.
Anyone who would
Non
like to help
dirlo.
Sergio to translate?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, because
Io non ho
Sergio said
capito.
something in Italian and I
tutto
don't
un
understand it. So
insieme.
if there
I
is
didn't
someone
Si dice,
understand.
Sì, ma
è tutto
cosa
un-
tutto assieme? Cosa
Ecco,
tutti insieme?
gli obiettivi sono tutto un insieme. The object is all, but, non so come dire, l'insieme in sé.
Together?
Eh?
Together.
Yeah.
Anyone who can translate that for me?
He said
Okay.
he own goals is like all together.
It's okay.
I do not understand what he doesn't mean.
Can you hear? Okay, I lost you for a while. Okay, so Sergio, my advice to you. Okay, let's not push it. This is the first session. Think about the topic, but I will definitely shoot your idea. I will turn it down. The economic entry, it's not for you. It's too big. You only have 1 year to finish your thesis. So think of something more manageable. Okay. Don't decide now. Probably later on, after the second session, that's the time it will come to you more clearly. Okay, so let's leave it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Tommy, you're the last one. Go ahead. You are the one with a very American first name. Is this really your name?
Is Tommaso my name?
Tommaso. Okay.
Yeah. But I've been like in America for the 4 year of high school, and everybody called me Tommy, so I like more Tommy.
Yeah, where in the States have you studied?
In Phoenix, Arizona.
In Arizona, okay.
In the desert, 48 degrees all year.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm Tommaso, as I said. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Brescia. I'm passionate about sports. I practice golf for almost all my life. I did it for professional a little bit until 18 years old. I play tennis. I like reading. I like watching a movie and go out with my friends. My current position, so actually I'm working on my own project. That is a subscription-based agency for graphic design.
Okay.
I'm working on that beside the study in the university. In my career, I would like to achieve a lot of things. I put myself a lot of goals, but like in the job career, I would like to create my own business, my own thing. So be an entrepreneur. So for the topic of the thesis, I like finance and I think about quantum finance, but I don't know yet. Probably could be one of the interest of the topic. Also could be project management, because I would like to do an MBA of project management. Actually, I don't know yet the topic that I would like to do it, but more or less could be like finance or project management.
Okay, that's all right. At least an option. It's
I didn't hear you, sorry.
Yeah, I said at least you have an option. You are talking about finance and you are talking about project management. So at least you know your option, you delimit your options already. So later on, as we move forward, then you will decide. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So
sure.
Thank you so much. Did I miss anyone?
Federico,
Lucas.
Federico.
Okay, so I think
Yeah, I miss you. Sorry, Miss Federico.
Federico, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
Don't worry. I'm Federico Marchini. I'm 22 from Brescia, and my current job now, I'm still working since 3 years. My family company that we produce water dispenser and cleaning water systems. In the last year, I'm in the position to the foreign market, managing the shipment of the delivery of our goods from the China mainland to Italy, or overseas to Italy to the China mainland. And for my research topic, I would like base my thesis on the intellectual management, but I'm not sure yet because I'm choosing between the intellectual management and, like Tommaso said, on finance. These are my two topics. I'm not sure yet which one I will use for my thesis. I need more time to decide which of these two I would choose, but these are the two topics that I will put in my thesis.
Okay, very good. Okay, so moving forward, I would like to tell you that for your thesis, you have two options. Okay, so one, you have a choice of either writing a theoretical academic thesis. Okay, or the other option, you can have a business plan. So for those of you who are planning to have your own business, or you already have a business, because there's two types of business. You have the startup, it hasn't started yet, and you have the scale up. The scale up is the one that you are talking about. I mean, Federico, your family business. Tommy, you already have your business that is, you are a subscription-based graphic design company. So these businesses are already established. So it is not startup, it is actually scale up. So for the business plan, you can have a business plan of startup, or you can have a business plan of scale up, or you can have the theoretical academic thesis. So those are your...
I actually already have business plan and everything. But I would not like to do it with a business plan. I prefer like doing a research of something else, if I can.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So moving forward, because I think a lot of you are, how do you say it? You have your own business, or you're planning to start your own business. Then that's the focus of the discussion today, so that you know exactly, do I want to write a theoretical academic thesis, or do I want to have a business plan for scale up, or do you want to do a business plan for a startup? Okay, so we'll discuss that today, so that by next session you can give me a more concrete title for your thesis. Okay, so this is our schedule. Okay, please do not mind the hours, because look at the date. Okay, this is our session. This it is written in the syllabus, which I will upload immediately after this class. Okay, so usually the class is not 4 hours. I cannot do a 4-hour class, it's too much. So it's usually just 3 hours, and it's 8 sessions. So our last session is until 27th of November. We only have 8 sessions. Okay, also there are sessions, I think it is in November 16 or November 20. We will not have a class, because I want that time to be allotted for writing. We will not have a class formally, because I want you to have the time to write your thesis, you know, the basic part of it. Okay, so please take note of the schedule. What are my policy about attendance? You can miss 30% of class hours without justification. Okay, so I think it's 4.5 hours or 1.5. You can miss 1.5 class without justification. I mean, you go to the doctor, you miss the class, you had emergency meeting with your work, you miss the class, that's all right. But only 1.5. Apart from the 2.5, from the 1.5, and you have 2 absences or 3 absences, that you have to justify. Okay, because this is only an 8-session, 24-hour face-to-face. So you cannot miss a lot of classes. Also, you are expected to be on time. Sorry about this, but I will wait for you until 10:15. Okay? If you are not here 10:15, then I will mark you late. If you arrive on or before 10:30, then I will mark you late. Okay? And then if you will arrive more than 10:30, I will not allow you to enter my class, because it disrupts the flow of lesson in my class. Please, I know about students. I was warned about students who are very late, and I will never tolerate that in my class. If you miss half of my classes, meaning you miss 4 class already, you were absent, I will automatically fail you. you will not be allowed to have, I need to recover, I need to, no. 50% is too much. You have to retake the class. I hope this is very clear. I told you, I've been an academician for 27 years. You don't have any excuse for me, especially the bachelor's degree. Why? Your priority is your school. You don't work yet. You might work here and there, part-time. School is very important. If you are doing your master's degree, I'm a little lenient because you are working. But bachelor's degree, no. Again, 50%, miss 50%, you fail. You repeat the module. Okay, I hope that's clear. Okay, so I will not discuss this much because this is about the guide on how to write your thesis. You have the Times New Roman, the number 12, the spacing, the spelling, the punctuation, tables and figures. This, I will post my PowerPoint in the Google Classroom so you can access it so that every time when you start writing your thesis, you know exactly what are the rules when it comes to what font, what is the pagination, what is the spacing. And sometimes the student, especially for bachelor's degree, they will come to me and say, how come you are very strict with the guidelines? Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind you, we are in the academic world. Everything here is, we are following a certain pattern. That's how academic we work. Okay, so I would like to highlight this, In the referencing, you have to use the APA style in the references. What is APA? American Psychological Association. Okay? And the style, this has to be 7th edition. The 7th edition APA. So again, I will post this in the Google Classroom so you can access all this. If you go to the citation, to the APA's website, sometimes they would offer you, you have to pay this, you have to pay that. Do not subscribe to anything that is paid. You can access all the examples of APA citation online for free. Okay, so do not subscribe for anything that is paid. Why is this important, the citation? Guys, before you are scheduled for your viva voce defense, your paper should pass the plagiarism check. You will not be scheduled for defense unless your document or your thesis pass the plagiarism check. When do you fail the plagiarism check? If you don't know how to cite. If you don't put the citation, it's going to be a red flag and it will generate a very big number. Okay, so please, the APA style, it's 7th edition. It's very important for you to understand. Okay, so let's not talk about this. Let's talk about this first. Okay, so a lot of you said we want a business plan. Okay, so this is the guideline for a business plan. Again, a business plan can be from a startup or a scale-up, depending on the kind of business you have. It must clearly state the following in complete details. What is the business all about? So what is the business all about? You say, Federico, you said water dispenser and cleaning water machines, for example. So it's about water maintenance or water business, for example. So that is what is the industry. In the case of Luigi, your business is in textile. So that is the industry. Okay, and then what are the goals of the business? The goals of the business, of course, is to earn profit, and businesses now will not survive without the word sustainability attached to it. Anyone has any idea what sustainability is? When you say sustainability, what does it mean in general? Anybody who has
the ecosystem?
Come again, Tommy.
You like a respect the ecosystem that is sustainable, like a recyclable material or a low energy.
Exactly. For those who is in the textile, Luigi, where is Luigi? Luigi in the textile industry. Yes, there is a clamor for vegan leather. What is your company's stand on that?
Can you repeat, please?
Yes, there is a clamor to replace leather, for example, to vegan leather. Do you have any
Okay.
idea?
No, I never heard it about.
Yeah. You know that in the big brands like Prada, Gucci, remember the reason why they are very expensive is because the brand. But second is that they are using real leather for their bags, right?
Okay.
So now there is a clamor for sustainability that they should not use animal leather. They should replace it with vegan leather. The vegan leather is, for example, you know, they make some treatments about, let's say, for example, the leaves of bananas, for example. I don't know if it really happens, but this is an example. They treat it, they use some chemicals to make it like leather, but they call it vegan leather. Okay? So
Okay.
they want to replace the real leather, animal leather, with vegan leather. But because they says it's more sustainable, it's more good for the environment, things like that. But when you do your own research, you will realize that producing vegan leather has more CO2 emission than actually using the actual leather. See? So sustainability is always attached to business these days. So we are talking about the goals of the business. The goal of the business is to have profit, but at the same time, the goal of the business in this day and age is to have sustainability. You know what I mean? To have sustainability, because buyers now, who are, what are the generation who spends the most money in shopping at this point? I belong to the generation X. We are very tight with money. Why? Because we are getting older. Our priority now is, you know, we've been there. We have, you know, in our 15, 20 years ago, I already bought my Prada, I already bought my Gucci. So the generation X, like me, we are more stringent with money. We don't shop anymore. Who are the best shoppers now? The big spenders. You have the millennials. So what is the mindset of the millennials? The millennials will not only buy the product, they will also buy because of the story that your company is telling its clients. So, okay, let's say Prada is good because it's leather and everything. But there is now an adjacent story from to the profit. They should also say that 20% of the profit goes to the UNICEF that benefits water production or water distribution in South Africa, for example, or in Africa, things like that. So the millennials are not only buying product because of the brand, but they are also buying product because of the story behind it. And why are we discussing this? Because we are talking about what are the goals of the business. There is one of you, I cannot remember exactly who, but there is someone who says to help the environment or to have a better to subscribe to the circular economy. The circular economy is that the product that you produce goes to other product, because the terminology in fashion right now, those who are in textile, you know, they say before recycling. So you have a t-shirt and then you get one part of it and then you attach it to something and then you have a different material. Now you transform it to a t-shirt patch t-shirt, for example. The recycling is the buzzword in the 2000, but right now we don't use the word recycling anymore. We are what are we calling it now? We are calling it upcycling. Why? It's the same thing. It's the same process. But upcycling is more fitted to the mindset of the millennials. So again, we're talking about the goals of the business. Not only the goals of the business is not only to produce profit, but to tell a story that is sustainable. It can also be, the story can also be, let's say we hire those people who just got out of prison, for example. That's part of the story. We hire retirees, for example, or we hire students so that they can support themselves going to school. So those are the reasons, those are the goals of the business. Okay, now, how will these goals be achieved and what tools will be used? We are talking about business plan. So you have to carefully discuss. You have the goals of the business. So how are you going to achieve those goals, and what tools are you going to use? Okay, for example, when we say 20% of the profit will go to better water distribution in Africa, for example. So what tools are you going to use to achieve that goal? You have to sell more. You have to sell more so that more 20% of the profit would go to your charity, for example. What tools are you going to use to sell more? See, so all of these are connected. A business plan is not something like, okay, this is my plan and this is my plan. That is your plan, but you have to back it up. We are doing an academic work. You are not an expert. You are a student. So when you write something like, this is what I wanted to do, me as a panelist for your thesis defense will be asking, that's your idea as an idealistic third-year bachelor student. My question is, on the ground, will it work? Because you are coming in from a theoretical perspective. I am coming in from the practical side of it. You will say, my startup capital is 300,000. Good, excellent. Question, where will it come from? So you will tell me, okay, that comes from my family's contribution. I will have 100,000 and 200,000 will come from my father. Excellent. Now, why do you need 300,000 as startup capital? What's the distribution? You just cannot say, my startup capital is 300,000. You have to justify to me as your professor in this class and later on in the panelists, where are you going to spend the 300,000? Because I tell you, for a startup, 90% of a startup close in its first year of operation. 90% of a startup close, they fold up in the first year of operation. So my question is, if your startup capital is 300,000 and you are not careful and where you are going to spend that money, probably in 10 months you're close. So where is the 300,000 now? See? So that's the goals on how to achieve the goals. You also have to do your environment scan. You have to show who are your immediate competition, your location, your pricing structure, where will your services be available, how are you going to advertise your services. In your case, Tommy, you said you have a graphic design company. How do you advertise your services at this point?
Excuse me, just so I'm clear on this, my thesis could theoretically be a research, like a business plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to change what I said before.
Yeah, see, so I told you it's all right for you to change, because usually I introduce first the theoretical, this one, before this one. But I can sense that there's a lot of you in this class who are already running their business. They want a startup or they have a family business to run. So let's prioritize this, because I believe a lot of you it will be more interesting for you, this one, than the other one. So let's spend more time in this, because I don't want you to decide that I want to do a business plan. But what are expected in a business plan? So we're doing it one by one. Remember, this is the standard of the Swiss School of Management. Okay, so going back to my question to you, Tommy, how do you advertise your services as a graphic design office?
Right now, I would is more organic advertising. So it's like a word of mouth, or I posted in some sites that allows to watch what the business is about, what are the main benefits. But in the future, I will do paid advertise and going to connect my business with an influencer, like a TikToker, or example, someone that work in the graphic design, that make a deal between both of us and make a plan where he will post the same videos, but in the same time he will work for me, and I have a plan for that, but it's like more in the future. Right now is a more organic way, and
let me ask you a question. Is this something that you would like to do for the rest of your life, or is this just a hobby?
No, it's just a hobby right now.
Okay, so if it is a hobby right now, don't plan for it. It's
No. I
it's a
know,
side-
but
it's a side hustle.
I structure it as I will do, but still is like something that I will work about, but it's not something that I wanna to do for the rest of my life, you know.
Okay, so that's why in English we say let the chips fall where it may, which means if this is something that you don't want to develop as a full-time career, then let it be a side hustle. I mean, there's no need to plan. Whatever comes, you take it. Why? Because that's not the thing that you really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a side hustle, so you don't plan for it. I mean, if there is, you do a project, and then you will say to the person, for example, me, Dr. Liz, can you recommend me to some of your colleagues? Then I will recommend. If I don't recommend, in French we say "c'est pas grave." It doesn't matter. It's all right. So this is your environment scan. You have to compare yourself with the other businesses that is offering the same business as you. And then you have to have a sound financial plan. This is the heart and soul of a business plan, your finances. So what's part of the financial plan? You have to have the cash flow. You have to present the balance sheet. You have the projected ROI. ROI means return of investment. Okay, so, and then you have your income statement. You have to have your income statement, because a business will not only have one source of income. You have to generate as much income as possible. However, often one source of income is not enough. So whatever side hustle that you can have in relation to the main line of business, that's good. I mean, when you say side hustle, it doesn't mean that because you are in the water dispenser business, then your side hustle is into textile. That's two different things. It has to be in the same line as the main business. If the main business is water dispenser, and then the other hustle has to be aligned with water. So just like with you can have water dispenser and other machines related to cleaning water or maintaining water quality. So that's the side hustle that I'm talking about in terms of income statement. So when you decide to do your business plan, you have to have a sound financial plan, again, that is composed of cash flow, balance sheet, projected return of investment, income statement, etc. What do you mean by projected return of investment? Right now, for a startup, the start of your return on investment is after 4 years. That is, if you do your marketing and your sales very good in the 4 years. The ideal scenario is 4 years, but sometimes the return of investment happens after 6 years. So if the return of investment will happen in 6 years, my question to you is, from the first year to the 6th year, what will happen to you? Do you have the money to sustain your business, even if you don't have the income yet, even if you don't have the profit yet? So the 300,000 as your startup capital, it cannot be spent in one blow. It has to be distributed along a certain time, within a certain time, so that you can wait for the ROI. You still have the money to run your business. Okay? Does this make sense? I mean, you are on your 3rd year. You have you have courses for introduction to finance, introduction to economics. You have accounting. Does this make sense to you? The term cash flow, balance sheet. Have you heard of these terms before?
Yes.
We already did.
Okay, perfect. So this is not new for you. So you know how
we already did actually the entire business plan in the 1st year.
In the 1st year?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is good for you. And then next, aside from sound financial plan, you have to create an integrated marketing communication plan. An integrated marketing communication plan is that I will ask you, let's say, for example, we're going to start a business on selling Milan, Brescia. Your main product is actually leather, the bags, for example. Let's say we are going to launch a collection of exclusive bags, middle range. We're not competing with Prada and all the marks, middle range, but we are not really the bags that are being sold in the in the bazaar, in the open market. We are middle range. Our plan is to launch it in second quarter of 2024. Second quarter means January, February, March, April, May, June, July of 2024, in line with the summer. Okay, so we're talking about integrated marketing communication plan. So should we start our marketing plan in July of 2024? No. Okay, so I can see your head. You are doing that, Tommy. Okay, so what is the plan? If our target opening of the business is in July 2024, from November, from today, what is the plan? What is the plan for marketing and communication? Anyone who has a wild idea?
Probably I will start today to actually create a plan, and probably in January to starting marketing campaign.
Okay, so
probably I don't know the how much time required, but suppose
when you plan, when you plan for your marketing and communication campaign, actually you have to plan 6 months before the launch, 6 months after the launch. Okay, so it's good. January is good. So in January, February, March, 6 months before the launching of the product, what are you going to communicate? How are you going to market?
Depends of the project, but actually you can create like I like the marketing when you have like some emotion behind the product.
Okay,
So
you sell the story behind the product.
You like you transmit like something that is not actually just the product, but when you buy the product, you feel something. You know what I mean?
The emotional appeal.
The emotional appeal, like, is hype and is like something that is remember you something, or you. I like that kind of marketing, but you can use like a lot of different strategy.
Are you familiar with the brand Abercrombie and Fitch?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, especially those who are, told me you live in the US. When you go to their shop, it has a special scent. This is true to other shops also that you might go in Milan or anywhere in Europe, But Abercrombie and Fitch, they have a special scent, which is vanilla. Okay? Vanilla triggers the brain to feel comfort, because vanilla is actually also the same smell as a mother's milk. So it creates calmness. Okay? So when it creates calmness, do you know what clients usually buy in Abercrombie and Fitch because of that scent? Pants. So their biggest seller is always pants. So this kind of marketing campaign, you have to plan it 6 months before the launch, 6 months after the launch. So when you do your business plan, when you say, okay, so this is a startup business, for example. So what am I, if my target opening of the business is in July of 2024, you have to write in your business plan, what are you going to do in terms of marketing and communication campaign 6 months before and 6 months after. These are crucial moments in the business. If you are a scale up, you already have an existing business, but you want to revamp You want to make it better. You want to introduce new services or new products. It's the same thing. If you are planning to do the revamp in July of 2024, 6 months before, 6 months after, what will happen? It needs to be stated in the business plan. Okay, so and then this is a redundant. I already said complete and sound financial plan. And this is what is the most important part of a business plan is the exit plan. What is the exit plan? If the business becomes successful, you are the president, you die suddenly. What is the line of succession? I mean, if you die, I mean, what will happen to the business if it's successful? You know, so the exit plan must be very clear. Also, a part of the exit plan is that if you have investors, you have to tell them, okay, so if in the case of success and the president dies, this is what happened to the investors. The same time, the exit plan when the business go bankrupt, because you don't know if the business will be successful. What will happen to you? What will happen to the employees? What will happen to the stakeholder? What will happen to the investors if the business collapses? So the exit plan is always very important. Your business plan should use business canvas, lean canvas. This is very easy. We can discuss this later on. It must present a management or marketing theory that fits the business. There is a theory, a marketing theory, a leadership theory, a sales pitch theory that fits into your business, and you should present that because you will justify that my business will be successful. Why? Because it will be following this theory that is proven to be successful when applied to business like mine. Okay, so that's a theoretical perspective. And when you do your business plan, it should also be defended just like a theoretical MA thesis. There is a defense. Okay, so this is what you need to do. Now let's go to the format. What is the format? You have the executive summary. You have the description of the business. You have to introduce the management and the strategic teams. You have to have the description of the products or services that you are going to use. Pestle analysis, SMART goal, Porter's five forces, or SWOT analysis. You have to have an outline of your marketing and sales plan. You have to have your USP, the unique selling proposition. You have the integrated marketing and communication campaign, just like here. Financial analysis, which includes investment, which is here. And you have to present a financial projection. Financial projection of when is your, this is actually the ROI. And then you have also to present the chances of success and risk associated with the business. And again, you have to have the exit plan. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. Look at all this, and then you tell me, how is this resonating with you, or have you changed your mind about the thesis that you are going to, that you have in mind? Look at it and try to analyze it.
I already want to do this business plan.
Who is this?
Luigi.
Luigi, you are going to do a business plan.
Yeah, because I like this approach.
You like this approach. Good.
Yeah, to be more, how can I say, with the foot on the ground of our business, so I can build a really good base.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a business, Luigi, already, you know, at least your thesis is not going to just get dust on the shelves because you are not going to use it. If you are going to do a business plan that you can actually apply to your own business, that's the best. That's the best you can do. Do not spread your wings too thinly. You already have access to information because it's your business. It's your family's business. Second, once you are finished with your data collection and your data analysis, and you created this, it can actually be applied in your business. So it cannot be better than that. So I agree with you. The only thing that we need to refine now is what area.
Yeah.
That's okay. At least you know exactly that I will do a business plan. Later on, let's see what I will do.
I would also like to say that when before coming into this lesson, I initially was wondering if it was possible to do a business plan, because I thought, well, that would be very convenient. But then when you initially asked the question, what our thesis would be on, I thought, oh, well, it has to be research. But now, since it can be a business plan, I'm going to go full in and say I would love to do a business plan.
Okay, good. Because, I implemented this policy with the entire, as the dean, it is within my power to propose an option for students, because not everyone can write an academic theoretical thesis. Some people are very good with this. When you tell them cash flow balance sheet, it's like a song for them, because they know exactly what it is. But then again, there are people that when they say ROI number, income statement, numbers, they develop allergies. So we have to have a balance of the students. Okay, you cannot do this, then you do this. At least you have an option. Okay, so at least for Luigi and for Andrea, it's very clear that you will do a business plan. Very good, very good. I like it.
Enrico.
Enrico also.
No, I don't know if Andrea will be doing it, but I will. I'm just on his computer.
Okay, Enrico is the one doing it. Yeah, because when you talk, it's the link of Andrea that is highlighted. So I thought it was Andrea. So Enrico. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sambaye, do you have any reaction about the business plan?
I would still have I would still have to think about it. I think that it's a simpler idea, knowing that some people here have already done the business plan, general guide, but I would still want to need more time to think about.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Take your time, Just not until the third session, okay? So, okay. Yeah. Lucas, I don't think this is for you, because the idea that you have better fits the other one. Okay, so Sergio for sure is still thinking. Mirko for sure is still thinking. Okay, so that's good. Tommy, do you have is this for you?
For me, but still I have to decide.
Okay.
Could be something that improve something that I already have. Could be interesting for that.
Okay.
But I have to decide.
Okay, no problem.
Take a little bit of time.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so I just discussed the business plan. Now let's go to the theoretical academic research. These are the parts. Do not be overwhelmed, Marcos. I can explain to you. Don't be because there's a lot of parts, So this is the theoretical academic research. Okay, so I will discuss one by one the parts. The abstract. That's the last thing that you need to write, because you cannot write the abstract unless the entire paper is done. Okay, so forget about it for now. The acknowledgement is very simple. I would like to thank my parents, my dog, and my bird, and whatever. So that's the acknowledgement. You have the list of figures, are the figures that you use within your research. You have the list of graphs, the graphs that you will use within your research. Where do these figures and graphs came from? Usually, when you do your research, you will encounter a graphical representation of, let's say, the distribution of wealth in Ghana, for example, and you find that it is highly related to your research. So you get that figure, you put it as part of your thesis. So that is figure. You put figure 1, for example. Figure 1, distribution of wealth in Ghana. Figure 2, age distribution of the respondents. Figure 3, so you have to have that list of figures and the list of graphs. Okay, so the thesis, the research, the theoretical academic thesis is composed of 7 chapters. Okay, so you have chapter 1 is the introduction, chapter 2 is review of related literature, Chapter 3 is theoretical background. Chapter 4, methods and procedures. Chapter 5, data presentation. Chapter 6, findings and application. Chapter 7, recommendation, summary, and conclusion. Okay, so Lucas, because you are the one who I specifically understands that this is for you. For the end, the final requirement from you for the end of this course is you have to give me chapter 1 to chapter 4. Why? Because that is the research proposal. Okay, that is the research proposal. Let me tell everybody in this class, you cannot write your business plan or your academic theoretical research without a research director. You have to have your own personal research director. Where are you going to get your research director? It depends on the policy of Brescia. You ask Luca. In some centers, the director actually assigned faculty to the student. For example, Luigi, you will be assigned to Luca. Luca will be your research director. Andrea, you will be assigned to Professor Liz Nawi because she is the one who is knowledgeable in your research. So even if you are doing a business plan or you are doing a theoretical academic research, you will always be working with a research director. You cannot write it alone. You need to be properly guided. So you have to ask Luca after this class, you have to ask Luca, in your case, Lucas, I have already produced chapter 1 to chapter 4. So I have my research proposal. Then you will go to Luca and say, Luca, who will be my research director? And when Luca assigned to you a research director, you have a piece of paper, chapter 1 to 4, that you can actually give to your research director and tell your research director, Madam, Sir, this is my research proposal. Can you be my research director? So your research director, the professor that you approach, would look at the document and say, well, very good. I think this falls within my line of expertise. I will take you as one of my advisee. Okay, so then you develop a good relationship. There is a consultation, I believe, you have to double check this with Luca. I believe the consultation is 1 to 2 hours per month. So that the research, the professor, you can submit your document. You say, okay, I will write the introduction until, I have the research proposal until chapter 4. It's already approved by the research director. But then again, for your data presentation, you need to be guided by your research director. So you have to submit whatever update you have in your document to your research director. And then the research director will say, okay, Tommy, this is very good. Let's set up a Zoom meeting because I want to discuss with you some points that you need to improve in your thesis. And then that's the consultation. Okay? It's the same thing when you are doing a business plan. Remember, I told you, you have to have a research director that is very good in numbers if you are doing a business plan, because they can actually look at what's the revenue stream. When they look at the revenue stream and you only have 2 revenue stream, someone who is very familiar with how to run a business and how to write a business plan can easily identify. I will say, Luigi, how come you only have 2 revenue stream? Do you understand that you can sell the scrap textile, for example? So you can sell the scrap textile. The scrap textile is the one that is already thrown because they are not used or they are in excess. So instead of throwing them, you can actually turn them into other products. And sometimes you, as the researcher, sometimes you don't see these things. And that's the role of the research director, to point out things you don't see, especially in the revenue stream. Sometimes for business plan, the researchers or the student will blow up their profit. They will have a profit margin of 70 to 100%. If you are not a restaurant, you will never have that profit margin. Only restaurants have a profit margin of between, 60 to 80%. I mean, how do I know this? If you go to a pizzeria, can you still hear me? Yes, okay.
Yes.
if you go to a pizzeria and the price of pizza is, let's say, 10 euro, the cost of that is 3 euro. The cost of making the pizza, the dough, the toppings, and everything is 3 euro. And you sell it to 10, 11 euro because the profit margin for restaurants is actually very high. So if you are not a restaurant, you cannot project in your business plan that your profit in 2 years, very, very short period. My profit in 2 years would be this. And then the research director will look, how did you get that number? And then, of course, you have to justify. How much is your profit margin? They will say 60%. Are you a restaurant? That's always my question. The good thing about me as a professional is that I am an academic. I know how to do this, and I know how to look at the business plan. Why? Because I am also an entrepreneur. So it's, you are getting the best of both worlds from me, because if you submit to me your research proposal, your theoretical research proposal, I can look at it from an academic point of view. If you submit to me a business plan, I know exactly what to look for. Okay, so going back to this. Chapter 1, Introduction, Background of the study. What you need to understand is when you write even a business plan or this theoretical academic work, guys, you write to express, not to impress. I would like to reiterate that, to say it again. You write to express, not to impress. What is the difference? Do not use highfalutin words that only you can understand. The minimum requirement is that the way you write, even in academic, unless it is peer-reviewed journal, it will be published in a specific journal of medicine, for example. The guide is that you have to write in a way that can be understood by high school student. So that's the parameter. So in the background of the study, in part of the introduction, the background of the study, Lucas, I'm talking to you, this needs to be about you. Who are you? What is your interest? What is your personal and professional motivation on why you are writing this? Because as a as a reader, before I look at what is the research about, I would like to know first, who are you as a person? So the background of the study is about you. What is your personal and professional motivation? So there is no theory there. There is no citation there. You just say, it's 3 to 5 paragraphs, the background of the study. I am interested to study this because, in my years of staying in this, I found out that So everything is about you, your personal and professional motivation. Okay, so the next part is the rationale. What is the rationale? The rationale is, if you have to justify that your research is new, that it has never been done before. So the rationale is, what is the research gap? There is a knowledge gap. There is a knowledge gap that you need to fill in. That's why you are doing your research. When you are doing a business plan or doing an academic research, your role is not to save the world. Your role is to solve one problem at a time. So Lucas, the mindset is this. Imagine yourself that you are going to build, using Lego blocks, you are going to build the model of the Colosseum in Rome. Your role is not to build the entire Colosseum using the Lego block. Your role is to put one block in its proper place. So you don't have to solve everything, because sometimes that's the mindset. I want to I want to do this, I want to solve this. Sometimes the problem is greater than yourself. You cannot solve a problem that is unsolvable. Especially, we are going back, you're a student, you have a time frame in mind. You have to finish this in a few months. Okay, so the rationale, you have to justify what is the research gap that I'm trying to fill. Okay, next is the definition of terms. Okay, so the definition of terms, this is very simple. It talks about what are the terminologies, for example, in real estate. So there are, we call it in English, we call it jargon. The words that are specific to an industry. For example, in the academic world, when you say curriculum, when we say research, when you say learning objectives, when you say we have terminologies like intended student learning outcomes. These are the things that you are not familiar with because you are from another discipline. You will never understand what is intended student learning outcome if you are from the real estate industry. So the definition of terms is what are the terms used in the real estate industry, and you have to define that. You have to define that. Okay, so next is hypothesis or research assumption. When you enter a research, you have this idea in mind that the government is protecting the real estate in this autonomous region because of this, because of that. And because of this law, migrants are not coming in. That is an assumption. That is an assumption. Why? You don't know yet. Why? Because you are still in the beginning of your research. You haven't done your data collection yet. So your assumption is, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? That's why it's called an assumption. Okay, so hypothesis is the proper term if you are into quantitative research. Quantitative means you are into statistics, but your research, Lucas, that's qualitative. So the qualitative, you call it research assumptions. Research assumptions. Okay, and then you have the statement of the problem. The statement of the problem is, what problem are you trying to solve? And then you have the objectives. So what are your objectives? Your objectives is to understand, to explain, to create a model, to create a framework. So those are the objectives. Okay? And then each chapter, you will have a chapter synthesis. And then you have the review of related literature. Have you done any review of related literature? Do you know what it is? No. Okay. So the review of related literature is, do you have anything to say, Lucas? No. Okay. The review of related literature is, how do you prove that your study is new? That this is not a repetition, that this is not a copy of a previous study. The way you do that is that you look, that's why it's called review of related literature, is that you look for similar studies in that area. Okay, you look for similar studies in that area. And then by presenting similar studies in that area, you can justify that your study is original. To make it simpler, for example, you're going to say, okay, I want to create a new flavor for lollipop, the Chupa Chups, for example. So you will say, I will have, the flavor would be red velvet. Okay, so that's the flavor. And then I will say, do you think it will sell? Yes, because it's original. How can you say that it's original? The review of related literature is like showing me all the flavors of the lollipop. And I should see that with all the flavors of the lollipop that you showed to me as a proof, there is no red velvet. So that's the purpose of review of related literature. You bring in all other researches or studies about your topic just to justify that the topic that you are doing your research on as your thesis has not been done before. Okay, so that's the review of related literature. You will see how come there's no subtopics like this one, introduction, that is very clear. How come in review of related literature there is no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Why? Because it depends on you. What do you want to do? A review of related literature, it depends on the topic. For example, historical background, economic background, political background, for example. Or in your case, Marcos, I think it's historical background. See? So that's the subtitle, the subtopics will be dependent on you. Okay? So here it comes again, the theoretical background of the study. The theoretical background is your topic is about, Marcos, is about real estate. So theoretical background, it has something to do with power relation. Why? Because you are trying to protect the rights of the people who are living in that autonomous region. So it has something to do with power relation. So you will look for theories that has something to do with power relation. See, Marcos, what is the benefit of having the topic, presenting it to me? I'm doing your research for you. So if, if Sergio and Mirko, for example, can tell me exactly what they want, I will use that as an example so that I know exactly how I can help you. See? So in this case, yours is very clear. So I can, at least, in my mind, while doing the lecture, I can always guide you, Marcus, don't go that way. It's a far shot for you. Go closer, because the purpose of research is focus. If you want to be successful in your research, focus, and you have to be very specific. Being big, like, the serious topic of economic entry, that is 2 times the world, 2 times the earth. It will go lower. So that's my guide to you. So the theoretical background, it has something to do with power relation. It has something to do with land ownership. It has something to do with pride and identity. It has something to do with cultural background. So your theories has to be within this line. We can refine that later on. And then you go to chapter 4, methods and procedures. So your research design. There's 3 actually. Your research design can be quantitative, which is statistics. It can be qualitative, which is, quality, the measurement of quality. Or you can have the mixed method, quantitative and qualitative. Marcos, if you tell me that your research design is mixed method of quantitative and qualitative, I will not accept it. Why? Because you will never finish. So you have to choose your BBA, your bachelor's degree. If you are doing the master's and you are doing the DBA, of course you cannot, it's acceptable. But for bachelor's degree, I would highly advise you, choose only one, qualitative or quantitative. I will choose for you. Yours is qualitative. The nature of it is qualitative. So your research design is qualitative, and your research method is document analysis. You're done. That's very clear. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm making it easier for you. What would be now your data gathering procedure? How are you going to get your data? So if you are doing quantitative has something to do with numbers. So usually the most convenient tool and easiest tool to access for quantitative is survey, because you count how many said yes, how many said no. Out of the people who said yes, how many are women, how many are men? What is the age distribution? 18 years old to 25 years old, majority of them say no. 45 years old and above, usually they say yes. So in qualitative, the data gathering procedure is always survey. For the data gathering procedure for in your case of qualitative, yours is document analysis. So you have to look at written law. You have to look at written legislation. So your data gathering procedure, your data gathering method is actually document analysis. And then once you get the data, you already have all the documents, you already have all the law. My question is, how are you going to analyze? How are you going to analyze your data? Okay, this you have to work very hard with your research director. And then you have the scope and the limitation. You will say, what's the scope and the limitation? It's the parameters of my study, meaning I will only do a document analysis from my autonomous region. I will not look at the other region because they are unrelated. They are not related to me. So you are telling, you have to tell your panel or your readers that my research, the parameters is just this. This is square. I don't want to do more because I cannot do it. So that's your scope and the limitation. And that's the significance of the study. The significance of the study is, what is the relevance of your study to? First, in your case, Lucas, significance of study to policymakers. Policymakers meaning those who create the law. Why is your study important to them? Second is, what is the importance to the academic world? Meaning, if I am a student doing almost the same area, the same researching the same area as you, what is its benefit? What is your study's benefit to me, the academic world? And then, of course, you have to have the benefit to the general public. In your case, what is the benefit to the general public? Knowledge. they will understand, they will have the knowledge, and eventually your aim is for them to fully understand that we have a law that protects us. So if you have resources, instead of buying whatever, materials for yourself, invest in real estate, because the right to purchase real estate properties in our area is actually, you are a priority. So instead of allowing other people to buy and make the investment in our autonomous community, it's better that you do it. So that's the significance of the study. Policymakers, the academic world, and the general public. See? You understand, Marcos? Okay, so after that, you do your data analysis, you did your data gathering, you have to present the data. This is where you will say, according to Article 7 of the Italian law about real estate, this is what it says, which is a complementary to the regional. So this is where you present the data, putting all the puzzle together, justifying that I have a solid case here. Okay, so that's the data presentation. Once you present the data, you do your findings and implications. So you said, okay, so these are the policies that fits together. So my finding is that the law by the Italian government is equal to the regional law that is implemented in our autonomous region. So what is the implication? The implication is that we have a very strong law that protects real estate buyers who are local and not prioritizing those who are coming from the outside. So those are your findings and implications. And then after presenting that, you have your recommendation, your summary, and conclusion. So once all is this done, so what would be your recommendation? And then you have your chapter synthesis. You know what is bibliography, right? That is your bibliographic entry, all the sources, APA, APA 7th edition, that would be the sources. And then your appendices is that your appendices should be a copy of the law. For example, you have appendix 1, a copy of the law from the government, from the country level, and then you have probably another copy of law from the regional level. So that will be part of your appendices. So I have presented to you, this is the theoretical research, and this is the business plan. Okay, after going all through this, Mirko, I would like to ask you, do you have a little clarity of what you wanted to do?
Eccomi.
Do you have a little clarity of what you wanted to do?
I don't understand. Excuse me.
Yes. After presenting what are the parts of the business plan and how it is done, and then the other one is the theoretical academic thesis, what are the parts and how it should be done. Do you have any idea, a clearer idea of what you wanted to do? Because earlier you said you want to do a research on, how do you say it? Interior design. So choosing between an academic research and a business plan, what do you think fits your idea of doing a research about interior design? No, it's still not clear to you?
No, don't have any idea.
Mirko, what is the best way that I can help you? Because you cannot pass this class by just smiling at me. You have to give me something to work on.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move to Sergio. Sergio, at this point, do you have any idea? Sergio, are you still with us?
Yes, but it's Sergio, not Sergio.
Sergio, okay. Sergio.
Yeah, what is the question? The question is if I clear the point what I want to do or not.
Yeah, I mean, after discussing what is the requirement for a business plan and what are the requirements for the academic research, I mean, is your idea more clearer now of what you wanted to do? Are you leaning towards, you don't have to make a decision now, but are you leaning
At the
towards?
start, at the first principal object, it's to make one activities, a new activities. In this case, it's more sales points. It's not concentrated just only of product, but my idea is to make to start off at the first sales point, but to involve in a more other sales points. In this case, with food, to sell food, or to make a service for the consulants. But I don't know it's good or not in English. It's I don't remember that, but
Sergio, we have
to make
two
one
options.
activity. That's it.
She's asking you about the format that you intend to do. Se vuoi fare il business plan o se vuoi fare il thesis format. Devi scegliere il tuo argomento e poi devi basarlo su o questa parte della tesi, quindi quella teoretica, quella scritta che abbiamo parlato prima.
Ma scusi, no, Lucas, ma questa c'entra la tesi con questa roba qua?
Sì, questa è
la tesi.
Questa è la tesi.
Tu scegli l'argomento
porca
e poi devi
troia.
scegliere questa via o questa via.
Porca puttana, ok.
Sergio, do you have an answer?
Answer, not properly. I need to probably have more time for take a decision because
Okay.
I think a lot of different plans, but it's a little bit confusion.
Okay.
So,
Okay. For you and Mirko, what I would suggest to you is immediately after this session, I will upload the syllabus and I will upload this PowerPoint. I want you, because our next session is on the 13th, I believe. By that time, I need you to tell me specifically and very clearly if you are going to do an academic research or you are going to do a business plan. Because I will not be able to help you moving forward if by next session it's still not clear. So for today, forgivable. That's all right. You can think about it. Is that clear, Mirko? Okay. Sergio, is that clear?
of course, yes.
Okay, perfect. Sambaye, with you, is still not clear? What do you want it to do?
I mean, it's clear. I have even started looking for potential subjects about my thesis. I have not chosen the business plan finally, and I thought of talking about the impact of digitalization on international business within the African context, but it's a little bit vague. So I don't know. I'm thinking about finding ways to make it more precise.
Can you?
More,
I like the title, Sambaye. Can you say that again? The impact of digitalization
digitalization on international business within the African context.
How many countries are there in Africa?
There are a lot, exactly. But I would take the best examples of, let's say, the countries that have made it with digitalization, have made a positive growth, positive economic growth due to this digitalization. I would take the best, let's say, 3 examples in Africa and would try to mold my thesis around them. I don't know if it would be a good idea.
Yeah. Sambaye, ikutin mo. I have one student for DBA, Doctorate in Business Ad. His topic, it was 2 years ago. His topic is about digital literacy in Libreville, Gabon. See? One city, Libreville, one country, Gabon. Imagine your title of digitalization, the impact of the digitalization in international business in African continent. No, look, I like the idea. I will help you make it lower, make it more focused. Let's say the impact of digitalization in choose one or two companies, one or two international companies. Okay, in choose a country, choose a city in Africa. That you can work on. You are originally from Senegal, so why are you going to make it very hard for you?
The data.
Go for Senegal. You are the expert in that.
The data is going to be a problem. The data is going to be a big problem. Finding
Why?
data for, on internet, at least, if you search of those type of informations, you usually fall short. It would be like you would be better off trying to, let's say, going to Senegal, trying to ask questions to people that are directly involved. You're going to get more answers that way than trying to search of those on the internet.
Okay.
The data has always been a problem about things like this.
Okay.
Because I have done for the international baccalaureate, we had to do, it's a kind of thesis. It's it's called the memoir, and it's like 3,000 words. And the data was a very big problem when you're looking for information like this.
So there is no okay, so you actually opened an idea that digitalization is not even supposed to be a topic in Senegal, because if you cannot have information online, there is no use talking about digitalization. If you don't have internet access, or if you have very limited internet access, then it defeats the purpose of trying to understand it from a digitalized point of view. Now, it opens another topic for you, Sambaye. It opens another topic for you to criticize and to create a study about how disconnected is Senegal to the rest of the world in terms of digitalization. Isn't that something that is more suited as a research for you? I am not imposing something, Sambaye, ha? I am not telling you to do it. I am just giving you an idea that instead of focusing on the impact of digitalization, how can there be an impact of digitalization? You are not even connected technologically. You don't have good internet connection. So it defeats the purpose of talking about digitalization. You talk about the very slow, we will not say lack of digitalization, because for sure there is, the very slow adoption of Senegalese businesses to digitalization. That's why probably economically speaking, they are not progressing much. What do you think?
As the factual part of what you had to say, I would say that the city in Senegal, the capital, is quite digitalized. The problem would be the regions under, the other regions of Senegal, I would think. But 2 to 3 regions of Senegal are really, every business actually that is open is in some kind of way digitalized, as they have, let's say, most businesses have Instagram pages, or they have, let's say, new digital ways to make their businesses bigger, or they have some form of digital, let's say, literacy. But however, in some regions of Senegal, it's completely the opposite, where people that have businesses, or let's say ancient format businesses, where people sit on a table, put everything on the table, and try to sell it to people that just come by or cross by. So
then Sambaye, make a decision. Do you want to talk about the center of Senegal? Because that can be for the BBA studies, thesis, that would fit. That is all right. Or do you want to make a critique of the outside, or like you are comparing the central, which is highly digitalized, and then the rest of the country is completely not digitalized at all. So you make a choice. It's going to be a comparative analysis within the same country. the difference between digitalization in the city center and the urban areas, or the urban areas, for example. So this is something, if that is something that you would like to do, then you will do for sure a theoretical thesis, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so
For sure.
continue to explore. I just, my guide to you is this: the smaller is the study, the better for you. Okay, so no, I mean, even the concept, even the keyword digitalization, it needs to be defined properly. Why? Because digitalization in Senegal is totally different from digitalization in Italy, for example. When you say digitalize, it means you have, I don't know how much is the fastness of the internet connection. So those are part of the definition of digitalization. It's not only having access to internet. I mean, yes, companies in Senegal will have access to internet, but to look for what is the meaning of digitalization, it will take them what? 15 minutes, because the internet is very slow, where in fact here in Europe, you have it instantaneously. Put it on Google, put it in whatever, in 10 seconds, you have the answer. See, so the definition of digitalization changes from country to country, to city, and industry to industry. Somebody here said they work, no, it's in another class. That digitalization in the hotel industry, for example, is totally different from digitalization in actual sales of product. So even the word digitalization, it needs to be well defined within the premise of your study. But at least, Sambaye, I am happy that, we are not even done with the first session, and you are catching up very fast by saying, I don't know yet in the beginning, and now I am on board with, I will do an academic research, and this is the topic. It's not clear yet, but, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way. That's the best thing that I can describe it. Very good, Sambaye.
Thank you.
Federico, you are going to do business plan, correct? Federico? Did I lost you? Andrea.
Andrea's just gone to the bathroom.
Okay. Who is this that I'm talking to?
Enrico.
Enrico, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna go ahead with the business plan.
So you're going to go ahead with the business plan. Okay. Okay. Lucas, you are very sure, no? Lucas?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I discussed this earlier with you, how to choose the research director. So you have to ask for Lucas for your research director, and then listen, you have the right to change your research director. If talking to the research director, you have, you can see that we don't have meeting of the minds. So you can actually ask Luca if you can change. You have the right to do that. Okay, of course, the ideal scenario is if we pair you with a research director, everything will work good, but it's not the usual. That's the ideal scenario. So you have the right to change your research director. At the same time, if your research director says, after you submit your proposal, sometimes I will turn, me as a research director, I turn down some students because, it's their research is not within the line of my line of expertise. Okay, so what is the Viva Voce defense protocol? Okay, let's say that you are done with your thesis and your business plan and you are going to defend. Okay, we call this the Viva Voce defense. So the Viva Voce, you will have 3 panel members. You are going to present your work. You are going to justify. They are going to ask you questions. So that's how a Viva Voce works. You will not be allowed to do your presentation without the presence of your research director. So your research director will be there, you will be there, plus your 3 panel members. So whoever that is, it depends on Luca and Lisa. They will convene who will be sitting as your panel members. Okay, so please note that the Viva is a public exercise. So we usually invite all our students from all other centers, not only from Brescia and Milan, but students from Cairo, students from Rome, students from Madrid, from Barcelona, to watch your Viva Voce. Why is it important? Because in the academic world, the more witness you have that you actually did your Viva, the better is the credibility for you and for the school. That's why it is a public activity. Okay? So, what is the Turnitin similarity check? Before your work will be scheduled for defense, it needs to pass the Turnitin plagiarism check. So you cannot, I mean, that's why it is very important to have the citation. So the next question now is, are we allowed to use artificial intelligence to write our thesis? I will tell you what. Turnitin has an artificial intelligence tool. It can detect manuscripts or texts or paragraphs or sentences that are generated by AI. So it will have, you know, once I put it in the system, it will have a red mark, and it has a flag, which means the flag means the student is trying to hide texts that are produced through artificial intelligence. So if I were you, don't create a text as an inspiration and then rewrite it yourself. I am not saying don't use it. If it's going to be very beneficial and easier for you, use all the tools as an inspiration and then rewrite it in your own words. Rewriting meaning putting the words here and there and there and there, you know, so it becomes you. Okay. Do you have access to EBSCO library at the moment? No, you don't have. Okay, so the EBSCO library is where you access all the books, and you will ask Lisa and Luca about it, because for sure you will have an access to it. You need it for your research. You need it for.
I know that Rome has one, but Brescia does not. Maybe we can use their library. I don't know.
No, you have, once you are registered to the Swiss School of Management, no matter which campus you belong to, you have access to EBSCO. The only requirement is that if you are our student, it's an automatic thing. It's just that we need to register you. So we need to register you. But now that you are writing your thesis, it is very important that you have access to online library. So let's work with Lisa and Luca on that one, so you will have access. And then once you graduate, your diploma will be deposited to an online portal called Diploma Safe. Diploma Safe is actually it's an online depository of your diploma that you can access online. Not only you, but if you give a link, for example, you're applying for a job and they would like to verify if you are really a graduate of the Swiss School of Management and they're asking for your diploma, you can just give them the link, because you know it cannot be fake because it's a system. Yeah, Lucas, you have questions?
Yeah, my question is, so that means that if, for instance, I'm applying for my master's and later on I will have to submit it, the university that I'm applying to will have to log in on Diploma Safe to see if my bachelor is...
Yes, yes. However, we are working on some things where we will give access to the student, you know, I don't know how many hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, where you will have the chance to print your own diploma with the logo, with the seal and everything. So you have a physical copy. I understand, because, you know, not everyone is very trusting about online thing. So sometimes, I mean, you know, we also like to put our, I don't know if you can see, but we also sometimes would like to put our diploma on the wall. See, that's what I have from my bachelor's to master's to PhD. Sometimes, you know, it's good to have the actual one. Okay, so too much information at this point. Let me end, because we didn't have a break. So this would be the last slide for today. Okay, so why do we do research? We do research because we want to separate fact from fiction. The sources of information today is often unverifiable. You know, you cannot verify. I was lecturing also yesterday to the bachelor students in Rome, and you know, I just realized what is the difference in our age. You know, my oldest son is 27 years old. So, you know, I was asking my students, did you even have the experience of really reading a newspaper, the actual newspaper? Did you have that experience, Tommy, or Luigi, or any one of you, Federico? You know, the actual newspaper that you have to open.
No,
Sure.
I
I
just
read it
read.
digital.
Oh, yeah, me too. I read
sometimes.
on maybe Facebook digital newspaper.
Yeah, Tommy, what about you?
Yeah, when I go to the golf course, sometimes in the bar, I read the sport newspaper and the Sole 24 Ore newspaper online.
Yeah, but because you're also a smartphone user, I would like to know, as part of the research, I would like to know, was there a different sensation when you read or something on actual paper and reading on a tablet or on a smartphone?
I think reading
hate.
on. Okay, go
Vai,
Tommy,
go,
go.
go, go, vai, Fede.
Okay, I think that when you read news on maybe on tablet on your phone, it's more quick and faster because you can search what you want. Maybe I can find war in Ukraine, and I see many news. And the thing in the newspaper, I had to find in many pages without like any help, like Google send you help for find more news. And you in the newspaper, I have to find with myself the news on more pages. I think is more quicker and faster.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Tommy?
I actually like to read more on paper because I like reading book on paper and like I remember better on paper. And I
Okay.
like writing too, so it's like fit me better. So
Okay.
I like more the paper than the digital
Okay.
way.
Yeah, what about you, Luigi?
I really like reading the news on the computer
Okay.
because they can add videos that help me to get information.
You see, with this three answers from you, when it comes to research, I actually learned something today. That you said, Tommy, you remember better when you actually read it from a written newspaper. And with you, Luigi, you said, I like it in the computer because it is accompanied by video. See? So this type of questioning is called focus interview. So in research, it's one of the tools for research, focus interview. I only have one question. My question was, what was your sensation? See, this is the best example, you know, my husband is French, so my in-laws are French. And, you know, very typical French morning is that my father-in-law would go to the boulangerie, to the baker shop, to buy a baguette and to buy a newspaper. But they're getting old. So I told my father-in-law, don't go to the newspaper because the boulangerie is very near their house. Don't go to the newspaper because it's very far. What we will do is this. We bought him an iPad and then we subscribe to an online newspaper so that he will read the news in the iPad. The funny thing is that amazing. You know how old people are when they are used to reading books or reading the newspaper? They're holding the tablet, and to flip the page, they do that. They do that because that is the sensation of how they used to read newspapers and books before. So here at this day and age, we need the research to separate fact from fiction. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not take things face value. Whatever somebody says to you that, you know, I read somewhere, no, proper citation. It cannot be, I heard from a friend of a friend of a friend or a cousin of a cousin. No, you have to separate fact from fiction. What is your source? Especially in critical information like, you know, I don't want to sound very political, but what's going on in Gaza? There is a news propaganda coming from Israel. There is a news propaganda about coming from the Hamas and from Iran and there is Syria now, and there's you have to be very critical about where are this information coming from. You can only make sound decision if you do your own research. So again, we do research to separate fact from fiction, and please do not take things face value. Always inquire, always verify. When you do research, you build knowledge. So now I know better that when you produce vegan leather, you produce more CO2 than actually using the actual animal leather. So it's not really good for the environment. How did I learn that? Because I did my own research. You know, when you do your research, you create foundation for decision making. The only decision that is good is decision that is based on factual evidence. That's why, you know, Sambaye, when you said you like business analytics, that's actually good. Why? Because business now is based on analytics. It's not like before that it's we feel if it's okay, we feel. No, right now business is based on numbers. How many are the reader? How much is the readership? How much is the distribution? So you do research, you create a good foundation for decision making, and it teaches discernment. Discernment meaning you can make decision better because you are a lot wiser. Academically speaking, when you write your own academic work, either your thesis or your business plan, it builds creativity. It builds credibility. Credibility meaning, how can you say you have a bachelor's degree, you haven't done your thesis yet? Or at least in Sambaye, for your other, it's called memoir. You have to have that because you have to prove that you are capable of getting information and you are capable of analyzing the information so that you can make a good recommendation. See, it builds credibility. Research is always part of the academic world. You don't know what will be your career trajectory later on, but research is part of the academic work. And of course, your degree is dependent on research. You will not be able to graduate unless you write and you pass. It's not only you write and you pass your thesis or your business plan. So at this point, any violent reaction from anybody, any clarification at this point? Anyone? No. Okay. So
could we please say again the deadlines that we have to select the director once we cannot change our topic anymore and all these things to have it clear?
Okay, so if we look back at I will change this. Okay, so this is the class. So usually we will have a break between 15 to 16. Let's do 16. 16 is our writing break. We don't have a class because I will give you time to write, okay? So, and our class is until the 27th of November. Okay. So, by the 27th of November, this will be the submission of your final proposal for your thesis, Marcos, and for the business plan of the rest, those who wanted to do the business plan. So after this, because this is holiday already, the ideal scenario is that before Christmas break, you should know who is your research director. So that when you come back in January, you set the first meeting with your research director first thing in January. Does that answer your question, Marcos? Yeah, ideal. Let's work on the ideal scenario. You intend to graduate in September, correct?
I honestly haven't understood how this is going to work. Like in June, we have to defend our thesis, and then the graduation will be in September.
Exactly. Okay, so let's work on that schedule. Your graduation is in September, which means August and July is actually dead month in Europe because it's summer. So you cannot have your thesis defense between June and July. So the latest that you will have your defense is in June. Okay? But then again, before you will have your schedule for defense, you have to pass the Turnitin similarity report check, which is, let's say, 3 weeks before the last week of June. So your document needs to be completely done by last day of May 2024. The last day of May. Why? Because if it is done by the last day of May, we can immediately submit it to Turnitin. Turnitin will take 3 minutes to generate the report. If the number is good, you are within, because the Turnitin, you only have between 11 to 15%. So if your document will pass, then we don't have a problem. We can immediately schedule the defense. What if your thesis generates a very high similarity report? We have to give it back to you because you have to change it. You have to repair it to meet the 11 to 15% requirement. See? So just to give you an idea, your document should be 100% ready by the last day of May 2024 so that you can defend anytime in June. Okay, in terms of choosing your research director, ideally, because you are going to produce your proposal at the end of this course, which is 27 of November, ideally, before you go on a Christmas break, you know exactly who is your research director.
Okay.
Clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
wanted to ask a very quick question.
Sure.
You were saying earlier about the fact that if we're more than half an hour late to class, we will not be let into the lecture. Now, I was just taking a look at the schedule here. Unfortunately, I do have a work thing on the 15th, which should finish at about 10:30, 11-ish, and it's a pre-existing a pre-existing work thing. Would it still be possible in that case for me to access the lecture with due advance?
Yeah, just let me know. Just let me know that, you know, at this particular schedule, I will be a little late because of a prior commitment. I just don't want to make it a habit out of, some people you don't know. That's it.
No, absolutely. I know what you mean. I was just asking because this is a pre-existing meeting that I have, and so.
Yeah, it's okay. At least noted on that. When is that? 15 of November.
Yes, on the 15th. Let me just double check that so I'm 100% certain.
Okay.
Yeah, I also have a question because I have got a similar problem on the 13th. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got pre-recover in the hospital.
Okay.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, so I don't know when it finished. Maybe I can be at 10 ready or not. I don't know.
Okay. Noted on that. Luigi on the 13th, and then 15 will be Federico, if I'm not mistaken, right? Enrico, sorry.
Yeah, I confirmed that on the 15th there will be that issue.
Noted on that. I just put on my notes that you will be a little late. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, no worries. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
that's the end of today's first session. Come back on Monday with a fresh mind of how are you going to move forward with your research topic, especially those who are not very clear at this point. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for your
Thank you
active
very much.
participation.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you, Liz.
Have a nice day.
Thank you,
See you
Liz.
next time. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.